All right, welcome to this year's first webcast from RTI. We're hoping to repeat these kind of presentations and webcasts a couple of times, maybe 3-4 times a year. And this is the first of this sequence. Today we'll have a debrief of Arab Health. We were there with Booth. We'd like to share some experiences from that. We'll also be joined by Kenneth Walker, who's going to give us some insight into Scatter Probe application, not the standard leakage or scatter application, but another idea of how that can be used. And last, I'll try to summarize some news we have on Ocean Next and what's coming. And we now have my RTI. We will shortly be releasing myBox. So we'll have a small preview of that. All right. We'll try to start summarizing. Olle?
Yes.
We were at Arab Health together.
Yes.
We returned a week ago from Arab Health. We had a really good one, really good exhibition. You've been there many times. Can you share what was your experience this time?
Well, first of all, it was my 10th year there, and it was the best Arab Health ever over those 10 years. I mean, last year was really good coming back from pandemic and people were out traveling and starting to plan. But this year they really had focus and plans and budgets to really do something. So last year was good, but this year was even better. More leads, people wanting to have deeper contact with us, and also better quality on the leads that they really want to buy things now compared to last year. So better in every way, I would say.
Yeah, excellent. And we had an experience. We were there last year, like you said, and that was we had to wear face masks, of course. But this year, the face masks were just a memory.
Yeah.
I think that was good. It was good. We had also last year we had a position just by one of the main aisles. This year we had a smaller street, so to speak. How did that work, do you think?
I prefer the big aisles because then then you get both the ones that want to see us and the strollers. In the small street, it was more of a challenge for some people to find us. It's hard to get the best position because it's so big, so many companies, and it's tricky to get. I think most people would like improvements every year, but still, with all those visitors, I'm not sure how many more we could have handled.
Yeah. Yeah, we were quite busy. There. So it's next year. Do we have the dates for next year? Not yet, right?
Not yet.
All right. All right. We have just a question. Can everybody hear us? I see Tom. We have you. Could you just let us know if we're audible? If everything works.
You.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
You unmuted yourself, so I guess that's okay. Let's see. Head talk. We don't want that. We want speakers. There we go. Okay. Thanks, Tom. We could hear you, but we couldn't hear. I didn't have the speaker set properly. All right. So what we're going to try to do today, we put together a little bit of a film just to capture and describe a little bit what was happening there at Arab Health. So I'll share my screen and let's see if we can. There's something else we need to do, right? We need to share the screen, include computer sound. Okay, we're sharing. And this is the movie that we made. All right, we are here at Arab Health. It's the last day of Arab Health with our distributor in UAE, Mokesh. And I'd like to hear what his summary is of these 4 days at Arab Health 2023.
Hey, Eric. Yeah, as you know, we are the journalists on Arab 2023 was wonderful. So, I never experienced such a school in my life as I was coming here almost 11 years ago. So it was a crowd starting from the beginning until the last day.
For your colleagues in other exhibitions, could you say how well has this worked with the collaboration here in the booth, with having local customers here and making use of the booth for customer visit?
Yeah, as I told, the main interesting for them was the training what this year we have added it. Local customers who had already purchased our instruments, they were really interested to have some trainings from the manufacturers, which they have done in the booth itself.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing you again, if not sooner than for Arab Health 2024. All right, so we're at Arab Health. Our friendly distributor is the Rakesh Chowdhury from Bergen Healthcare in India. With us and they use market at Arab Health. So, what has been your experience during Arab Health so far?
My experience, in fact, this is my probably it is my 18th or 17th visit to Arab Health. I have been visiting Arab Health since maybe around 2000, since 2000. So I have seen very tremendous growth, especially in our context. I say because we have not a lot of visitors at this place.
That's good. Thank you. We're offering you space here in the booth and to bring the customers here. How has that worked so far?
This was definitely a place where we could bring the customers and we could get the needs also, because sometimes we were not here and the people from RTI, they took care of our customers and we got the needs. So it is definitely an opportunity. I foresee that RTI should continue to participate in it.
All right. Thank you very much, Rakesh. I wish you this is the last day. So I wish you best of luck with all the needs that you've collected, and I hope to see you next year. Right, we're at the final hours now of Arab Health 2023. We have the company of Lee Evans.
Well, welcome to Arab Health 2023. Arab Health 2022 was great. It was good to be back, but this year has been exceptional. We've had some great conversations with our partners. More importantly, we've had a real geographical spread of customers from the east, from the west, in Senegal, through Rwanda, UAE, right over to the China and East. Arab Health is now more of a global meeting rather than a regional.
So what final words do you have to summarize Arab Health?
Well, to everyone back in the team in Sweden and around the world, we've got leads. So the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be really busy. See you then.
So after 4 days at Arab Health, we're at the final day. What does your knees and feet have to say about working at Arab Health?
They're spent, definitely spent,
You think it was worth it?
very much.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's see what we have. Right. I wonder, did the sound go through? Did you hear the sound? Tom?
Yes.
You heard the sound from the video, right?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, good. Yeah, we had some problem with the feedback there. Thanks. All right. So there you got a bit of the atmosphere. It was a busy time in the booth, and as you can see, we're all quite worked up. What was the best, do you think, with the exhibition and the way we worked in the booth?
I would say we get a bigger booth to get in the right position. And first, when we start planning that, I was a bit afraid it would have been too big. But there were times when all 4 RTI staff were busy with different customers in different parts of the booth. So it turned out that it was necessary to have that big booth since we were so popular. I would say that's the best thing, to know that we're back to normal, and even better than normal. And interest both people wanting to be distributors in new areas where we don't have coverage today, and also all the people that want our stuff and really understand that we have the best they can get. And I also say the interest in Scatter Probe, which is new, and sometimes it's hard to get news out there. But also over my 10 years, the growing demand or request for training as well. People understand more and more that they buy a tool that can do a lot of things, but then they should also be able to tell it to do those things. So from year 1 compared to now we have existing customers coming in to want to get training. And since we have a big booth and training manager there, it's possible to offer them everything they need in that area as well. So it's not just about boxes anymore. And I really like that part.
And I think also it was very productive. Again, we've had the help of Innovative Healthcare Solutions. Mukesh and Gurab, who were with us in the booth, did an excellent job taking care of the local the customers from their region. They were also quite busy.
Yes.
And we had Rakesh from India, who was also there and had quite a few customers visit. And he was also quite busy. So it was a really, overall, a very, very good show, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see if this carries over, if this is an effect from the COVID being over. And maybe we'll see the same effect at ECR that's coming up now, beginning of March. So, but we'll get back to you with some feedback and some news also from ECR. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
All right. Do we have any questions so far? All right. Well, then we thank you, Ulla.
Thank you.
Very, very nice to work with you in Arab Health. Look forward to next time. And we'll make room for Kenneth, who's going to give us some information about the usage of the Scatter Probe. And Kenneth has been involved with one of the applications. We have studied and working our way to a new solution that we haven't been in before. Not only leakage, like we say, but also a more practical application for it. So, yeah, Kenneth.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, maybe, to some of you. Yeah, I'm pleased to have this presentation about the Scatter Probe, released on the market already 2.5 years ago. And the main history behind this solution is that we have listened to our customers around the globe, and in a close cooperation with, for example, Hologic and GE, we have learned requirements and wishes. And the main thing is then how to improve the situation of today. What are the shortcomings, and what do the customers wish to see as improvements? So to the next slide there, if you have the applications for the scatter probe are for leakage measurement and scatter measurements. These are based on regulations from IEC and CFR, followed by requirements from the FDA in the USA, for example. And we have also found that the normal applications is then tube leakage scatter from say patients to the staff in the room, and also room leakage. We have listened to customers, as said, and so what were their main objections or most criticism of systems today is that they're normally very expensive. They bought survey probes, which are really not ideal for that purpose due to size, sensitivity, and price. They're also using compromised solutions with smaller detectors. Our dose probe is one example, which has a compromise due to its very small size. The standards that customers wish to comply with state the 100 square centimeter area, so measuring area for most of the measurements, and 10 square centimeter for the more specific measurements. Another thing about the existing systems today are that some are run with long cables, and the ionization chamber systems, for example, are very sensitive to cables self-triggering, and maybe not used for the field purpose. Factory application could be okay, but field becomes problems to use. Generally, moving sensors around is taking a requirement on the solutions we provide. Small sensors also contribute to the fact that you need to scan over a larger area, and that takes a lot of time. So could we come up with something which helps the situation here for the customers? And we developed the scatter probe, and you might see that on the picture here. Or familiar now that we have 100 square centimeter area, which is representing by the larger square on the meter or the detector here, and also the indicated 10 square centimeter. Easily selected and through the OceanNext software, you can choose whichever sensor size is relevant for the purpose. We have been using solid state technology, which provides a robust, stable solution, insensitive to movements and self-triggering situations, far less than any ion chamber system, for example. And we also have connected this solution with a dynamic and flexible software, so that results can be imported into the customer's database handling systems. We even have API solutions for, say, production applications, and where again data can be reported, it can be automatically analyzed, storage, and traceability, all of that. So there is a flexibility around the new system, meeting those old wishes for improvement. Another point in this one is that we have a separate screen. Why is that? Well, it's because you can imagine yourself bending down below a table and measuring on a tube under couch solution, and reading the display at the same time is pretty awkward. So that's a very, say, usable, a flexible solution to have the same laptop or display system as you're using for other type of measurements. Yeah, you can go to the next slide, please. Here's an example of the display where you will recognize Ocean Next. It shows the peak value, which is many times the wanted measurement, including the accumulated dose and dose rate. We can also measure. We also measure actually the quality energy of the beam in KeVs with a range that is for diagnostic radiology from say mammography to highest, so 10 to 150 KeVs to represent the actual application for clinical radiology. Then next slide is the you can see here the system again, standalone, meaning it's an easy addition to or replacement to customer solutions today. It is handheld and or you can mount it on a tripod. In the handheld applications, of course, we encourage everyone to use radiation protection, either through aprons or behind any shielding that's available in the room. But the handheld application makes it easy to scan around the tube head itself, or say when doing a room survey for leakage, that you check around the windows and doors, or easily scanning with the right size of sensor as well, required by the standard. So in one kind of summary of this solution, we have a very accurate system meeting all the requirements in accuracy of measuring those rates and the beam qualities available. Stable solution through digital technology and solid state technology. The time saving factor is essential again, looking at again shorter time to scan the relevant volumes or spherical surfaces that are supposed to be scanned, and then ion chambers normally need to stabilize for quite some significant time. Yeah, so here this is something you can also skip or jump that part of the measurement. And so in all, it's a cost-saving solution with a faster setup, faster to use, longer calibration cycles. We even have feedback from customers who are using 6 months calibration cycles on their ionization chamber systems, and which you can see then the easy calculation. It's doubling the costs, or rather we can decrease the cost by down to 50%, or even 4 or 6 times lower costs just for the calibration of the systems. And some of the other existing systems are on those typical survey probes, for example, having pressurized ionization chambers. They are hard to, or very expensive to transport in the first place, to have movable in the field, but also requiring more frequent calibration cycles. Have we been successful? Yes, we have. We've been even surprised ourselves that we've seen massive orders during this short period of time, and we are very eager to promote the solutions even further. And for all of you, have a look at our website. There is detailed information there, price indication, video showing an example of applications, and the team here is ready for receive any of your questions and handle your interest.
Handle all the orders.
and the order.
Yeah. No, it's quite interesting. I've tested it myself. We had a training just recently this week, and we did some measurements with the scatter probe, just with very low mass values and low KVs, and had it triggering for a dose of total 3 nanogray, and it was triggering on its own, but stable triggering. So that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
And also, I learned something new also that, well, new to me at least, with the KEV is actually then a representation of the spectrum. It's then not the acceleration voltage, it's not the KVP. So that if we have an acceleration, a normal X-ray machine set for 120, the spectrum may have a mean energy of maybe 80 or something like that, depending a little bit on filtration, of course. But so the KEV listed in the specification does not correlate directly with the KVP, with the acceleration, with the tube voltage, and that's, I think, important to remember.
Yeah.
So that's then also why it goes down to and covers MAMO all the way up to CT and also beyond that, because it's looking at the mean energy for the leakage measurements.
Yeah, the up to 150 range represents a 141 keV is the energy for technetium, and that's also many times actually and frequently available and used for room leakage situations to have a continuous radiation source for checking that, and yes, the sensor is sensitive to that energy level as well.
All right. Yeah. No, so it is. We need to keep separate KEV and KVP. So I think that's confused me in the beginning to some extent. So it has a wide range, still dedicated to radiography ranges or or imaging X-ray so far.
Yeah, and you can say that's what we have been, what the customers sometimes have been using before. It's kind of call it an overkill, but it's so the survey probes, which are really intended for a totally different purpose, measuring gamma, beta, and megavoltage levels and things like that, and environmental measurement devices, and they are then of course more expensive to maintain and to buy in the first place, and this is a really dedicated for again diagnostic radiology system.
Yeah.
Easily available, can easily be packed inside the same case as other RTI equipment, for example.
Yeah.
So adding to the portfolio of all-in-one solutions.
Yeah. Now we have some competitors that do have solid state, what they call survey probes, but then the size is not regulation size. That means that to follow the regulation for leakage and scatter measurements, they need to make more than one exposure. With a scatter probe here, one exposure is all it takes. And for the other ones, they need to make more and move it around to average the dose over a 100 square centimeter area. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So that makes challenges to have them in the same distance from the source, and also makes sure that you overlap over that area so that you don't cut corners when you're making your regulation measurements. Right.
Yeah.
Anything else? I had one thing also, the accuracy for our scatter probe here for the MAMO range is quite impressive. Look at others, there seems to be a cutoff when in the MAMO range, but the sensitivity for our scatter probe here is straight, I think.
Yeah, you're correct.
All the way down to MAMO.
You're correct. When you look at scatter radiation, the energy levels actually decrease far below like you say, the KVP. reading. So when we talk about MAMO, the mean energies are 10, 20 keVs actually, and we have a I would say completely linear response all the way down from within this range, 10 to 150 keVs. So that is definitely contributing to the what's stated here, the accuracy of the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the useful usability range of it.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Is there anything else that we want to share?
I was probably speak for hours. But,
Do you have
you
any
know,
questions from out in the world regarding the scatter probe? Right.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much anyway for your attention. We'll then move on with some information. I'd like to share some information about the Ocean Next and the latest the release we have it, and also what's coming with the next release of Ocean Next. And let's see here. Oops, sorry, going to this. Oh, we won't. We will go to here. Now, let's start this. All right. So what we have released, of course, since a couple of months, a few months back, is Ocean Next, the 2.0 with the new database functionality. We're really glad to have that out in the market because it will really reduce the problems and the challenges we have with the Access database that we had before when updating the Office package, where you had the runtime Access runtime engine creating problems for us. So now there's an SQL database, and I think that's the big improvement that we have for all the users. From usability, speed, and also data security. And at that time, we also then introduced myRTI, which is the user portal for our Ocean users, through which you will have access to information about what probes are being used, what instruments are being used, and also if they're calibrated after April last year, you'll have access to the calibration certificates, also online, be able to download that. So that's like I said, the user portal to help the users with a little bit of a better support. There's also in there an element of testing the database, since we're then synchronizing data from the Ocean installation on the laptop. We're synchronizing that with a cloud account, which is the myRTI account. We're then testing the synchronization engine for larger purposes. And that is then the myBox functionality that we have in the cards. We're planning to release in March, making a slow start and then accelerating the release into the field in March and April. So we're starting a bit slow and then accelerating. So what is then myBox? Well, we'll try to explain it. It's a database backup. That's the big functionality behind it. So with the help of myBox, if you through myRTI, that's the gateway. Through myRTI, you will then have an opportunity to subscribe to the myBox service, and there you'll upload or back up your complete Ocean database to your cloud account. So that means that once it's backed up, it will also then synchronize the data. As soon as you've made a measurement, you close your measurement file, that measurement file will then be synchronized up to the cloud. So you'll have a safety copy of your complete database fresh after each session that you have completed. If it's a quick check or if it's an Ocean session with your templates, that will be pushed up to the cloud and synchronized. So that's the main driver for this, and that's why we also, like I said, wanted to test the synchronization engine with myRTI before. So that's what we have now with myBox. We'll be able to offer a backup service for up to 3 devices per user account. That means that when you're if you have one user can have a tablet, a laptop, maybe a stationary computer, and they're all running off the same database. What would the benefit be then? Well, maybe if you go out into the field to do your measurements using templates and just executing them, all you may need is maybe a tablet. So you go out to the field, you make your measurements, and when you're done with that session, as soon as you're in internet coverage, that will be pushed up to your database in the myRTI cloud. Then that will be accessible immediately on your laptop or your tablet. So you have a functionality of a widened functionality when it comes to accessing the data. So that's for per user that we're looking at. Now, you may be tempted to then share one account, and then with 3 people trying to share one account could be possible. It's not designed for that. So it may be a little bit tricky when you're using the same account. Might be a little bit messy. So we encourage everybody, each and every user, to get their own account for this service and use the myRTI account. That's the basis for it. So that's the immediate, the basic functionality that we have of it, and that's the database backup. There will also be a possibility to share data between myBox accounts. You may have, if we have our each accounts, we'll be able to share data between like a Dropbox functionality. So from I can share a measurement file or a template and in a folder, and that will then be accessible to you after approvals. Of course, you have to accept it and everything.
Forward to that.
Yeah, isn't it? And I look forward to you sharing your measurement files so I can see what you're doing. Yeah, that would be good. So how will it appear? Well, it's also going to function and appear in Ocean, of course. So you have it, but you need to scroll down and at the bottom of the database window, below you have measurements now, and then you've got templates, those 2 folders. You'll have another folder, which is data I'm sharing and data shared with me. So we'll have a folder to keep those organized. So if you want to share something, you drag and drop it into that folder, and that's going to be the interface that we're using. And if I share something, a folder with you, whatever I drop in there will be accessible in your folder in Ocean as soon as it's synchronized. Yeah, so that's the whole idea. So that will be the structure. Of course, there's going to be notifications so that we share it in a controlled manner. You'll be alerted that somebody wants to share it with you. Then you go in and accept it and say that, yeah, that's fine. That's okay with me. And it's going to be controlled through the web interface in myRTI. So to sign up, the user interface is not quite set, but it's going to look something like this. That when you go into your myRTI account, there will be a tab for myBox, and through there you can then activate your subscription for the myBox service. It's going to be a paid subscription. The price, we'll have to come back to you regarding the price. When it's going to be through a PayPal, so you can pay with your credit card. Will also be a possibility to prepay for 12 months, 24 months, 120 months, depending on how long you want the subscription to run. And that is also the per user. So but we'll come back when the launch is closer. So that's the basic, the functionality of it. So from that we saw what it would look like in the Ocean interface. There will be an interface also on the web under the myBox once you're signed up for myBox, where you can get a view of your Ocean database. In this view from the web interface, you'll be able to see the files, which files you have in your database, but you won't be able to see the measurements as such. Only the reports that will be available to view at this stage at least. But you'll be able to see what we have. You can manipulate the database to some extent, but it's not an Ocean installation on the web. We're not there yet. It's a backup of your database into the cloud. All right. So what else do we have here to share? Yeah, we've got statistics also on the website. You can control the sharing, who you're sharing it with, and to connect, disconnect those you share the file with. So that's going to be quite interesting. So that's myBox. It's just a teaser a little bit for what's coming in the future. We'll of course make more noise when we're closer to the launch of it, the official release of it. But we just wanted to let you know what's happening so far. The release will happen in March, and we'll roll it out in a controlled manner from March. On the topic of Ocean Next, we've made some changes, like I said, in a couple of months ago. One of the big things is the news panel to your right side there. As you've seen, we've updated those now. We will share some information. We'll try not to flood the users with information, but relevant information we'll make available through that interface. Calibration reminders, yeah, that's a pretty good one that so when you're approaching the calibration due date for an instrument that you have connected, you'll be alerted that it's time to start thinking about calibrating your instrument. And of course, not only that, but we're trying to help you also to find the relevant information so that the calibration process can be smooth. Today we have a turnaround time well below 10 days, and that's thanks to the fact that our customers prepare, they book and inform the service department that, hey, I'm now shipping my instrument for calibration. Here is the paperwork, and with that preparation, the process is very, very lean when it comes here. So we're well under 10 days today. All right. So we've heard also some customers struggling with how do we modify the template? Well, we have the test view introduced that, which is a safety net, so to speak, or a safe environment to operate it, to perform the tests, to use the templates in the field. That's the idea behind test view, so that you're not worried. You don't. It's a better user interface, more visible set values, and easier to work with. To modify it, there's a studio view that you access through the double arrows that you see up to the left, top left. With those arrows, you toggle between test view, where you run your templates, and studio view, where you can modify, you can change the templates and manipulate the database. So you have more freedom in changing and working and developing the templates when you're in studio view. So those two double arrows is something useful. So to toggle between test view, which is the default view when you start the template now, and the design view where you can, or the studio view where you can manipulate, change, modify, and work with the templates in the traditional way. So that we've heard that may be a bit of a stumbling block. So if you run into trouble, you want to change something, or it doesn't work as you expected, that you're used to, find the double arrows and you go into Studio View. You'll see then that in Studio View you have more options when we're looking at. I'll even do this, and you see here in Test View we have no Design tab, for instance, and there's no Appearance tab. That's that we're used to in the studio in the old Ocean versions. So, but they appear once you click on the double arrows and go into Studio View. You get all that that warm and cozy feeling of the familiar interface with Ocean. Yeah, so that's about the summary that we have for today. There will be some more information and some more videos being produced when it comes to Ocean next, and how to handle it. And that's when they are released, we'll be sharing that information with you as well. All right. Do we have any questions so far? Because we're now at the end of our agenda for this webcast. So if there's any questions from abroad or outside the studio. All right. Well, in that case, thank you very much for your attention. I hope this was worthwhile. We'll get back to you with another webcast in probably April time, April, May. We'll let you know when that's due. And you know, this is recorded, so you'll be able to download it from our website. All right. Until next time, it's RTI signing off.